Hey guys, it is Nick here with another Nick's Topics What If Topic video for today. And today, we are getting into my second Dragon Ball What If topic on this channel. And it involves another unused character, or underutilized character, becoming a Z fighter. Who am I talking about? Giran. The dragon lizard-type warrior we saw in the original Dragon Ball series. Now, like most characters, Hercule, this character was very underutilized, and we saw absolutely nothing come of him. But there's a way to change that. Now, let's cover Giran's background. We saw him fight against Goku in the 21st Budokai, and do kind of well against him with his merry-go-round gum, but then ends up getting killed by Tambourine, and we never see or hear of him ever again, except for the fact that he was seen in the Buu Saga helping Goku with the Spirit Bomb, and we saw him for like a second. But in this story, sort of like Hercule, but much, much differently. Besides, also, the series is going to be a lot shorter than that one. Let's say that Kid Goku in this kind of scenario sees the potential in Giran and wants him to be a Z fighter. How is that going to happen? Well, that's where our story begins. We open up where Kid Goku and Giran are beginning their match. It goes pretty much the same exact way, with Giran presenting his merry-go-round gum, Goku breaking out of it, and beating Giran, and yeah, pretty much all of that goes per normal with like little to no differences. Actually, there's no differences at all. But then, after the match, Kid Goku is even though Giran was kind of tricky and cunning, Kid Goku did appreciate that Giran chose to give up from the fight, and he acknowledged Goku's strength. And Kid Goku, in turn, acknowledges Giran's potential and says that after the tournament, he's going to talk to Roshi and see about training him and being a valuable member of their team. So Giran thinks on this more, while Kid Goku and Jackie Chun, at the end, are duking it out. Giran decides to hold off his opinion on the matter until after the tournament ends, which surprises Giran even more by the fact that Kid Goku, who he thought was invincible, just lost to Jackie Chun, this old man, and even became a giant ape, and still lost. But then, after the end of the tournament, the beans are spilled, learning that Jackie Chun is Master Roshi, and Giran learning that Giran basically thinking that makes a little bit more sense. Goku talks to Roshi after the tournament about Giran becoming a warrior like him, and Yamcha and such, and Roshi originally would have... Someone like Giran, he kind of thinks on this for a moment because I'm not too sure whether they should trust him or not. But Giran says that his defeat at the hands of Goku, it taught him a lot about, like, more so acknowledging his enemies more and more, and how to better himself. And this is the best way to do so. Roshi decides to accept this because Giran's not like a bad guy. He's just overconfident sometimes, and overly sneaky. So, Giran would begin training with Roshi after the tournament, learning some kinds of the Turtle Skull way, but mainly focusing on bettering his merry-go-round gum and his basic skills, to try and better his original techniques so he can use them more effectively against Goku. Speaking of him, we see Kid Goku, per the original, fighting against the likes of the Red Ribbon Army, Colonel Silver, General White, all that stuff, with all of that pretty much remaining the same, while Giran and Krillin and Yamcha and such are training on Master Roshi's island. Speaking of which, while Kid Goku and Bulma meet and go to General Blue's island to look for the last Dragon Ball or such, Master Roshi sees immense growth with Giran and definitely is glad that he chose wisely in taking him in. Giran's even learning some semblance of ki attacks. He's not learned the Kamehameha or anything, or at least not yet for his decision, but he is getting close to, like, utilizing ki to the extent where Master Roshi's willing to teach it to him. Then, Kid Goku and Bulma arrive on the island and explain the situation that they need the submarine to look for the last Dragon Ball, or the next Dragon Ball, or whatever. But before they go, Giran actually wants to come along. But before that happens, he wants to have a sparring match with Goku, pretty much a rematch, to see where Goku's power's at as well as his own. Kid Goku obviously accepts this because he to himself wants to see where Giran has gotten. So the match begins, with Giran surprisingly landing even more successful blows against Goku. But the minute Goku starts getting serious, Giran knows that Goku's definitely not been slacking off in his adventures. Giran then pulls out his merry-go-round gum again, which Goku thinks it's easy to be able to break out of again, but not so. Even though it hasn't been that long, Giran's hold over the merry-go-round gum has increased, meaning the gum is stronger. But even so, Kid Goku's still able to bust out of it because, it's Goku. And he obviously wins the sparring match. But at the end, he's way more tired because the exhaustion of having to break out of the gum this time took a lot more effort. Giran accepts this once again because he knew that Goku would probably best him. He just wanted to see where he was at as well as Goku. And as long as he could do better than him, do better against him than the first time that they fought, that gives him closure. And he still accepts to go with them to General Blue's island, who they don't know General Blue yet, to get the Dragon Ball. So, their voyage begins to General Blue's island and under the giant ocean to get the Dragon Ball. And everything that leads up to that point pretty much remains the exact same way, except Giran is there along with Goku, Krillin, and Bulma. Unbeknownst to them, though, General Blue has been watching them and is secretly following them down into the sea, unbeknownst to the group. Now, we then get the introduction of the pirate robot, which, with Giran's potential and everything, this means for a much easier fight. If anything, Giran feels confident enough to take on the pirate robot himself, because the pirate robot isn't too much bigger than him. They're about the same size, I would even have to say. So, we would pretty much get a battle of giants to a degree. Not really giants per se, because those Zarus are way bigger. But it would still be an easy fight for the three of them against the robot. And Giran would be with Goku whenever Goku gets split up from Krillin and Bulma. So now it's Goku and Giran together. Now, we then get to the fight with Krillin and General Blue, which would go the same way, with the only minor difference being Krillin can hold his own a little better now, because he's had extra training with Giran being there. But then, Giran and Goku show up to give assistance to Krillin and Bulma, with Giran being the one to offer up fighting against the likes of General Blue. Now, Giran definitely has somewhat of an advantage with his gum and some tactics of fighting, but General Blue, with much effort, to say the least, is able to break free of the gum and shows off his paralysis technique, which he's basically trying to mock Giran and show him how a true paralyzation move works. But just before he's about to finish him off, Kid Goku comes in, knees him from the back of the head, and knocks him out cold. Now, with this, and with the exhaustion of fighting Giran, an extra fighter, that means that when the whole cave goes down, General Blue goes down with it. So that means no Arali, no sequence on Kame House with General Blue getting them captive and Kid Goku following them to Arali and yada yada yada. And also, General Blue does not die to Tao here. But Commander Red still gets word of Blue's death and knows that these guys who are killing his men off and such, and especially this little kid, time for drastic measures. And he prepares to call in Mercenary Tao. Now, we then get to the scene of Captain Yellow and his attacking of Bora's village at the bottom of Korn's tower. And besides Giran being there with Goku and such, this sequence pretty much goes like the exact same way. The only minor difference being that Giran is there. We then get the introduction of Mercenary Tao. But the fight might not be as easy as he might think. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of What If Giran Became a Z Fighter? And I hope you guys enjoy the prospect of another underutilized warrior from the Dragon universe getting his dues. We'll be seeing a lot more of him this series. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys on the next video.